Hello. Hello, welcome. It is so good to be here. If this is your first live tuning in with me, say hello if you can in the comments below. If you are here, you are family, and I mean that with my whole heart. So welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about the number one manifestation technique that you are probably doing that is keeping you from actually calling in your desires. Okay, so it's a big one, and chances are if you're here, you're probably in that space of talking about your desires as if they're coming, right? But months pass by, weeks pass by, days pass by, years pass by, and nothing has actually changed for you. And what I'm going to break down in this live is exactly why this is happening. Okay, so the reason is because future casting is keeping your desires out of reach. And I want to break this down in a really granular way so that you can understand it. And chances are, if you are here, you have probably done all of the things when it comes to manifestation. You have created a vision board. You have said your affirmations. You have gone to therapy to figure out your wounds and your problems. You have listened to binaural beats before you have fallen asleep. And you still can't figure out why these things that you have been focusing on have not landed in your current reality. And so what I want you to walk away from this training knowing, from this live knowing, is that if you are always talking about your desires as if they are something that is ahead of you, it's coming, then you are training your brain and you are training your nervous system to believe that they are not here right now. And so your nervous system and your brain becomes familiar with the frequency of waiting. It becomes familiar with the frequency of not yet. So if you say things like it's coming, or when I am married, when I have a baby, instead of it's here right now, and I'm showing up as that version of me now, you are broadcasting the signal that it's not here now. You are okay with waiting. You're not matching the version of you who has the thing that you desire. What I also see when people future cast is when you attach to the when. So there's a saying out there, be, do, have. And I preach this to every single one of my clients. The saying is not have, do, be. It's be, do, have, which means in order for us to have the thing that we desire, we have to be the version of us that already has the thing that we desire, so that the how, which is the do, can present itself, and then that manifests into an actual physical reality. So if you're attaching the way that you speak to when I am married, when I have a significant other, when I have a baby, when I make $1 million, then your nervous system only feels safe if and when it arrives, which also creates anxiety, which creates delays when it comes to being able to manifest the things that you want. Because you're broadcasting that signal. You are broadcasting the signal that when I have this thing, then I will feel the certain way, right? And your past and your future is a focus. You can focus on your past and you can focus on your future. But the thing is that when you're focusing on your past or you're focusing on your future, you are projecting a different frequency than the frequency of now, the frequency of I already have this thing. So when you spend time in the past really ruminating around the frequency of who you were in the past that has created your current reality, and when you spend time in the future of when this happens and you allow yourself to be in that frequency, then you're choosing the frequency of future or past versus saying, hey, right now I am currently in the frequency of the thing it is that I desire. And I'm going to give you an example of this because manifestation can be really tricky. And I'm going to break it down in more detail in my Manifest Your Dream Relationship training. But the hardest part for people when it comes to manifestation is learning how to show up in the future version of themselves now. Okay? Manifestation as a someday plan doesn't actually work. In order to truly embody manifestation, you have to say, this is the thing that I desire. And because I desire this thing, I am willing to show up as that version of me now, even before the thing I desire makes its way into my physical existence. So the other day, we have a new nanny, and the new nanny came to visit us. And one of my deep desires on my heart is that I want to have a child of my own. That has been a desire of mine for a long time. And I truly I'm not attached to how it makes its way into my existence, but I do know that it is a desire that will be mine. It will come into fruition. And she had asked me if my partner and I were going to have any other children. And I found myself in that moment. What was about to come out of my mouth is, well, when we both get to the same place where we're ready, I wanted to say that. And this was a moment that I caught myself and I said, whoa, that's very 1.0 Lauren. 2.0 Lauren stopped and said to her, yes. All I said was yes. And I let that yes resonate inside of my body. I'm not attached to how it happens, but I do show up as if it's already my reality. And that is the important part when we look at manifestation. You cannot look at manifestation as a someday plan. Before I called Nathan into my life, I was already showing up every single day as a woman who was in a really healthy, deeply aligned partnership. Every single morning, I would be in gratitude for being in that partnership. When I sat down to dinner, I would sit down with 2 dinner placements. Like I was actively in that energy, right? So when I was in that moment of being asked, are you planning for future children? I could have said, when the timing is right, yes. Which then would have broadcasted that I'm okay with waiting versus just saying, yes, we are, which is an immediate frequency shift, right? I also had a client that came to me. I have a lot of clients that come to me who really desire a deep partnership. And she kept saying to me, well, when I find the right partner, when I find the right partner, when I find the right partner. And so I walked her through one of my exercises of getting really clear on what it was that she desired. And I had her write out what her life would look like with an aligned partnership. How would she show up? How would she show up with him? What would her mornings look like? What would her afternoons look like? What would her evenings look like? And she wrote all of this out. And we claimed her 2.0. We claimed the version of her that she was ready to call in. And she was on fire. And she messaged me the next day and she was like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. Like I can feel him here. I can actually feel him physically here, even though he's not here yet. And a week had passed since we did the exercise. She came into a session the following week. And she comes into the session and she just starts talking about how her ex texted her. And she started going on and on and on about how she thinks he needs therapy and this, that, and the other. And I paused her. And I looked her in the eye. And I said, I want you to imagine something right now. You spent last week claiming the version of you that is in an aligned, healthy partnership. If you are in an aligned, healthy partnership right now, I want you to just imagine how it would feel for your partner to be outside of your office door right now, hearing you say everything that you just said to me about your ex. And her eyes got really big. And she was like, whoa, I'm living in the past. I'm not showing up as the version of me who knows that this relationship is already here. And that was a line in the sand moment for her. 2 weeks later, she found her partner. They just got engaged and they're getting ready to get married. But she had to make the mental shift. How often do so many of us future cast or past cast into our manifestations? And that is the very thing that's blocking your manifestation from actually being able to make its way into your current existence. So there are 3 things that I want you to start to do right now. If this is you and you have been stuck in your manifestation practice, you've been doing all the things and it's not coming. Number 1, I want you to speak as if it is already here today, right now. Now, this doesn't mean, quote unquote, fake it till you make it. You've got to get your nervous system to a space where it actually feels safe enough to claim that. This is the main reason manifestation doesn't work, is because your body doesn't feel safe claiming it. You want it cognitively, but your nervous system is saying something different. Okay. But if you've done some nervous system work and if you do feel safe enough to claim it, then I want you to start to shift the way that you speak about it. Your words are spells. So speak as if it's already here. Beautiful example. The nanny asking me, are you and Nathan going to have any other kids? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Now, I am unattached from a manifestation standpoint, whether or not it happens with Nathan. I know it's my reality, and so I'm speaking it as if it's my reality. The desire is a child of my own. That is the desire. And because that is the rooted desire, and there's a why, a deep why behind that desire, I can then speak as if it's mine. I'm unattached to how it comes in. Okay, so that's the first thing. You're going to shift the way that you speak. You're going to speak as if it's already here. Number 2, start to anchor it in your body so that it feels safe. If you don't know how to do this, that's why you come work with me. Because there is a process. There's a reason that you don't have what you desire. It's because your nervous system is not an energetic match for it. It doesn't feel safe enough to receive it. And until you work through the patterns of dysregulation that are keeping you from being able to feel safe enough receiving it, you'll continue to choose the frequency of lack and scarcity. So you've got to anchor into what it feels like, because when you can anchor into that and you can actually feel it, like you can viscerally feel it in your body, you can keep going back to that feeling. And that feeling is the frequency. The frequency attracts what you desire. Your reality is a reflection of your most predominant frequency. It's the frequency that you continue to choose over and over and over again. So that's what you have to remember. Okay. The third thing is you've got to choose what actions you are going to take from the version of you that already has what she desires. Tiny actions. Just like the example that I gave you of my client who came into session with me and was talking about her ex for 30 minutes before I stopped her. If she would have slowed down enough to say, hey, wait a second, is this a 2.0 action? Is this a me already in a healthy partnership action? Or is this a 1.0 action? And when you can start to make those tiny actions from a deep place of alignment, everything's going to start to shift for you, right? And this isn't about tricking yourself. It is not about tricking yourself. It's about regulating your body and getting your body to safety in a way where it can hold the identity of someone who already has what she desires. Be, do, have, not have, do, be. We don't feel, and I know this seems counterintuitive, we don't feel like a girlfriend. We don't feel like a girlfriend magically when a man appears. We have to feel that way now in order to broadcast the frequency of it so that it can manifest in physicality, in the physical realm. So if you're always in future casting mode, or if you're always in past casting mode, like hanging out in the past talking about your ex, thinking about the future, talking about when it's here, you're going to continue to rehearse the waiting game. But when you shift into living it right now, in this moment, which is what somatic work helps you do, helps you shift into this moment, your mind and your body are going to work together to make it inevitable. Because think about it. It's, to me, my life, when things appear in the physical, I'm like, oh, I'm kind of like, of course. I say that. I'm like, oh, of course you're here. Because I've been feeling into that. I knew when the business hit 7 figures, I had been feeling into 7 figures far before it hit it. So when it came, I was like, of course, there you are. Thanks for catching up with my desire, because I've been feeling into this for so long. Okay. So if this resonated with you, if you're like, there's something here I need to look deeper into, come to my Manifest Your Dream Relationship training, September 2nd through the 4th. It's $11, you guys, $11. I'm going to be teaching for 3 full days. You know that I over deliver. It starts at 5 o'clock Central Time every day, goes about an hour, but I love to teach. I love to impart wisdom and to actually see you guys get it and shift your lives. So sometimes it goes over an hour, but it's $11. If you drop manifest, the word manifest, underneath this video, it will send you the link to join. But it's 3 full days of training, and something that I'm doing in this training that's different is we're going to be doing a private Telegram group for a week. So I'm going to be doing activations and mini trainings starting in Telegram September 1st. That will go all the way till September 8th. So you get that extra bonus. And there is an opportunity to coach with me directly inside of that container too. So $11, come. If you are watching this replay, drop the word watch below so that I can know that you're watching and send you the good vibes when I see them come through. But I want you to understand this before we leave and part ways for today. I have manifested ridiculous things in my life, like wild things, and none of it makes sense. And if you are the person who is dedicated to not living a mediocre life, I call the women that come into my containers the courageous ones. They're the ones that have really big goals and want really healthy partnership. And there's a reason that they're single in their 30s and 40s, because they refuse to settle. They know that they don't want just any marriage or just any relationship. They want one that's alive and full of depth and intimacy and growth. If that is you, you belong in my trainings. I'll say that first and foremost. And I want you to know that what I'm going to teach in Manifest Your Dream Relationship, you can apply to money. You can apply it to your health. You can apply it to all areas of your life. It's going to change everything for you to be able to really understand these principles. I geek out on quantum physics. I tie in human design. We talk about whether you're a specific or non-specific manifester. We're going to be looking at your energy centers. So what does it look like when you're in alignment based on your human design versus what does it look like when you're in misalignment? How do all of these things factor into the way that you create your reality? We're going to be deep diving into all of it. So come join me, $11. I love you all so much. Hopefully this training was helpful for you. I'm going to be doing some other mini trainings because I've had questions that have come in over the past couple of weeks. So if you do have any specific questions, DM me. I'm in my DMs. It's me. Hi, it's me. So I will answer all of them. Okay, love you guys. See you next time.